Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Saturday, February 5th. So today we do still have the moon in Aries all day. This is a fiery energy. It does kind of create a little bit of impulsivity, a little bit of restlessness in us because we're fired up. We're bold, we're courageous, we're ready to go, we're ready to take on new things. We're tired of looking back at the past. We're tired of being stuck in the emotions that have gotten very heavy lately. And of course, that fires us up and pushes us to charge forward. However, we're not totally supported in moving as fast as we would like. We're still in a plan here. We're in a planning phase. We have to be long-term strategic in our plans. We can't just go willy-nilly. So there is a little bit of inner conflict, inner struggle here because we do have this fire energy pushing us forward, but yet our intellect and our planning and the overall cosmic energy is saying, whoa, 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 pump the brakes. We only get one shot at building this new foundation. Let's make sure we do this right. So there are 9 different aspects taking place here today. 9 of them involve the moon. Definitely a moody moon kind of day. Now, the moon is going to bump into Jupiter right out of the gate. And let me tell you, this is likely going to manifest in our outside world with a little bit of distraction, a little bit of disruption, because we want more for ourselves. We want more yesterday. We do not want to wait. We do not have patience with the moon in Aries. And this can definitely put us at odds with our current circumstances and situation. We can definitely feel the energy rising, the frustration, and maybe even anger rising because we're not able to move as fast as we would like. The moon is going to square Mars. And of course, Mars is the ruler over Aryan energy. Mars is in Capricorn, knowing damn well that he's got to pull the reins back and manage his energy so that he doesn't burn himself out before he actually gets to his end goal. Mars in Capricorn needs to be strategic, needs to be thinking long term about the big vision, the big dream, the big goal, but has to actually have the patience to take the logical and practical steps needed in order to actually build what we need to build in order to actually see that dream come true. The moon is going to bump into Pluto, though, and this is our opportunity to get a grip. We are understanding right now that stepping back, acting as the observer, reflecting back over the pain and the struggle and the obstacles and all the energies trying to keep us down, we're recognizing now that that was absolutely necessary for this particular point in our path. We are recognizing that, guess what? There's been a huge change in our mental plane, in our psyche, in our perspective, in the way that we understand why certain events had to happen. That particular shift in our mental plane has a huge impact on our heart space. Now we're rewriting the narrative on how it is that, that situation actually affected us emotionally. So now we're recognizing, wow, there's a lot of power here. There's a lot of power in perspective. There's a lot of power in understanding. Yeah, we did have to go through the darker parts in order to get here. But there, again, this is built a determination, a boldness, a bravery, a courage within us that we didn't have even this time last month. Now, the moon is going to come up, sit next to Chiron, the wounded healer, who has been in Aries for quite some time, really illuminating for us our ego, the identity that we've built around our ego, and definitely at this particular point, making a very clear point within ourselves, the observation that we need to have, recognizing, because many of us have had a lot of things taken away from us, really seeing the release of that attachment. And we're recognizing now how great of an impact that has actually had on our ego. Many of us are walking around not even knowing who it is that we are without our pain, without the struggle, without our jobs, without the relationship, without certain aspects that we thought were going to be around for a very long time. And the impact that this has on us rebuilding our identity. The moon is going to bump into Uranus in not the most pleasant way. Again, this is coming from an outside trigger, an outside activation in our physical realms, likely going to disrupt our plans, likely going to disrupt our heart space, put us in a little bit of state of confusion, really put a lot of chaos in our mental plane and in our heart space. Now, because we're all fired up, because we have the impulse to want to take action and have everything put together yesterday, this can definitely put us in a negative mind space, a negative emotional space. And if you're not careful and you actually act out on this disruption, on this activation and trigger, you're going to make a mess for yourself. You're going to create drama where there doesn't need to be any. This is really a test to see whether or not we can be mindful enough to recognize that when things are happening outside of us, that we have to act as the observer. We have to get a grip. We have to see where the bigger, greater, grander plan is at play, where the lesson is, and we have to step out of our egoic reactive behavior. Now, we're going to be put at odds with ourselves and with one another, especially because this outside activator is likely coming from a personal relationship. The moon is going to square Venus, who is now direct, still trying to get her bearings. Venus, of course, she had a lot of very deep realizations about herself while she was in a retrograde. She's recognizing now a new level of worth within herself, a new level of value that she sees within herself. And now we're looking at our outside world, the relationships that we're in, the way that we make money, the way that we just operate in our day. We're recognizing like, damn, we actually have to make a change here in our physical realms to start matching the realizations in which we've had within ourselves. But this puts us at odds with ourselves and one another, because we're not quite sure right now that the people in our lives are the right people for us. We don't necessarily know exactly what it is we want, need, and desire, but we're sure as hell being illuminated to what it is that we don't want, need, or desire. Now, the moon is going to semi-square the true node. The true node, of course, a destiny point. The semi-square is a tension point because we're confused. We don't know what we want. We don't know how to visualize the dream and the goal and the vision. There's too many variables. And there's so many variables right now that we're not sure about, that we're having a hard time seeing that long-term path forward. We're having a hard time seeing even how we're getting past today or tomorrow or this week. So there is a little bit of confusion, a lot of pressure building, because we want to have that great grand master plan. But right now, we're just kind of in this state of uncertainty. The moon is going to sextile Saturn and sextile the sun. Now, sextiling Saturn, this is a good energy. Suddenly, we realize where it is we got to boss up, where it is we got to get emotionally in alignment, where it is that the roles and responsibilities that we've committed to, where if they are sucking the life out of us, where it is we have to kind of innovate new ways to do these things, new ways to honor our responsibilities, new ways to actually build a routine that is going to support us in the commitments in which we've made, because we're tired of feeling the weight of the world on our shoulders. We're just tired of the roles and responsibilities just crushing our heart space. So we got to lighten the mood. And of course, the moon in Aries is all about starting something new, initiating something new, taking a new approach, not looking back, looking forward. This is going to be a good vibe for us to actually sit with, for us to get a little bit more insight on what it is that we actually need to change in our lives. And of course, the moon sextiling the sun, this is a beautiful opportunity just for us to see, you know what? We do have to let a lot of ourselves go, especially because the moon in Aries does not want to deal with the past. We have just gone through a very serious purge state. We're recognizing that we cannot accept the blessings, accept the prayers, accept the dreams and the visions that we have for the future if we are currently attached to the past. There are parts of us, mind, body, and soul, that have to be detached from altogether in order to raise the vibration, stand in our power, in order to accept the blessings that are on their way, ready to come at us when we create enough space in our lives for them to arrive.